All right, we're going to take a deeper dive into President Biden's report card now. We bring in Laura Fink, who served as a trusted advisor for multiple members of Congress and is founder and CEO of Rebelle Communications. Laura, great to speak with you again. This night, big moment, of course, for every president who served. Those who were most successful, in your opinion, what did they get or do right?
I think it's about looking forward as well as talking about what has already been accomplished. And I think it's about connecting with the American people where they are right now. And that presents President Biden with a challenge because the dissatisfaction with the sort of state of the universe post-pandemic is real and it's global. And so I think there's a way that he really has to thread the needle in talking about his accomplishments, maybe informing Americans about things that have been done by this administration that they may not know about, while also recognizing the challenges that American households continue to face. So the message will be kept promises, and we need to continue to strive for more improvement to make the lives of Americans easier and more comfortable.
All right, Laura, let's talk polling right now. Biden's approval rating right now sits at about 44%. That's according to Real Clear Politics. Can he change? Can he do anything to change that tonight?
Well, this is really kind of the cornerstone of a larger strategy that's going to take place over months for any president. You know, the State of the Union, 38 million Americans watched it last year, and we know that a lot of Americans consume it in a disaggregated way over social media, via YouTube, all of the other elements. So we don't necessarily see it consumed in the same way. So it doesn't have the same impact that it used to. It's still the most widely watched speech of the year that the president will give. So a tremendous opportunity to set the tone, to own the narrative, and to sort of talk about, on his own terms about where he sees the State of the Union and what he's planning to do in the year ahead.
Well, Laura, you said at the top of this, presidents of the past who have been most successful look forward. Blake mentioned it at the end of his report. If this is the president's launching pad for 2024, what are you expecting him to say?
I think the focus on the economy is something that we will see talked about, and talking about that jobs report that I think was probably underplayed by a lot of media sources. It really is sort of extraordinary. And so he'll be leaning into those economic accomplishments. I think he'll also be talking about bipartisan issues like his cancer moonshot. He'll be talking about the war in Ukraine that all Americans, a lot of Americans can really agree upon, the infrastructure impact, the healthcare impact, lowering those costs. So really talking about those bipartisan issues that sort of make everyone, whether you're a Republican, independent, or Democrat, your heart go pitter pat.
All right, Laura Fink, as always, great speaking with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nichole.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.